My name is Sheila Corona. Welcome. We are in Handbook for the New Paradigm, Volume 3, entitled Becoming. We are on transmission number 28, page 321, if you're following along with me in the book. It is to be understood that the time of realization by humanity that it has come to a crossroads is happening now. I do, this I know this was written some time ago. This book was published in 2008. Just to be clear, let me just make sure of that. Am I right on that? Sorry, 2018. This says copyright 2018. But I have been made aware that these are much older. This book was published in 2018, but each one of these sessions came in um, quite some time ago, from what I understand. Originally, they were circulated via email, and but I concur that this. I'm going to say it again. It is to be understood that the time of realization by humanity that it has come to a crossroads is happening now. I think more of humanity has it now, right up here in the forefront of their consciousness, and or it's beginning to dawn on many more, right? A decision must be made as to whether to continue on under the influence of those who would continue to control them, or to accept the responsibility of choosing their own future. I swear that overall energetic has been out there quite a bit since the end of 2019, the beginning of 2020, and it really ramped up in 2020 and beyond. You know, who are you going to trust? What you going to believe? Yeah. Do you want them to control what you do, or do you want the responsibility? That has really been huge. Under the influence of the methods of control being applied now, the consideration of taking such responsibility by a large portion of humanity is not possible. Take into consideration the number of the number of humans who are not even vaguely aware of the situation that confronts the planet and its inhabitants, and the chances of ever attracting the interest of a considerable portion of humans are next to impossible. However, when those who are aware, no matter how few by comparison to the number inhabiting the planet, come together in agreement as to this choice, the balance of power is changed. I do feel like that's true. This is even more powerful when these concerted foci are aligned within the action of the laws of the universe. It is to be remembered that when the action of one group involves interfering with the freedom to evolve of another group, this is in conflict with the natural flow of creative expansion of the galactic/universal environment. A plan that is in conflict with the creative flow requires constant attention and management in order to maintain itself, for there is no interactive creative thought to correlate the facts of activity into a naturally cohesive thrust into manifestation. I hope you can feel what that's saying, because I sure do. In other words, it's harder for that to continue, especially in these energetics. Once the decision is made by a group in agreement to return a deceived group back into the flow of expansive evolvement, quote, heaven and earth combine in a flow toward accomplishing that goal. The laws of the universe are invoked, and thought thinking becomes interactive with results that are beyond the comprehension of the originating focused group. The momentum grows exponentially and manifestation occurs spontaneously. Considering the bigger picture in a condensed version allows those contemplating its accomplishability to get a sense of its possibility and grasp a knowingness of how the process works in essence. However, it is necessary that each and all understand that the process does not work by itself. If it did, the situation as it now exists would never have come into being. There must be carefully laid groundwork in order for the process to begin and continue to a point to which it will then complete itself. There is indeed such a point. The originating group will have no way to ascertain this point, and so must initiate and continue to hold the desire and intention in place through the greater portion of the process, lest they withdraw in overconfidence before that unknowable point is reached. I take this to be saying, in other words, that whole thing about not giving up 3 feet from gold because it looks so bad out there. It looks like they are winning, which I said to someone just recently here, I really do not think so. I think that's what they want everybody to think, right? But no, I just don't think that's the case anymore. And two, partly because I don't see it as a competition anymore between us and them in some battle, because that's not even in my thinking anymore. This is the way it's going to be. The new paradigm is coming into existence, and you could come with it happily or not. It's your choice, but we are moving towards that, right? So the desire and intention have been stressed many times. However, there is action also required. Physical resistance to the overwhelming forces of those who intend to intensify their overseer roles is pointless and futile. Those that intend to change the destiny of this planet and its inhabitants must direct their action toward the spread of the concepts of manifesting a new paradigm. This new paradigm of experience will be accomplished through the understanding and application of the basic laws of the universe: focus, intention, and allowance, bringing forth the end result of balance and harmony. And that there is absolutely the way of it, as far as I can see. This would appear to be quite simple when considered in its basic conceptual understanding. However, to apply these principles in the midst of coercion, chaos, and confusion, in a firm trust and knowing that the laws are working when there is no physical proof to justify that all important belief, is not a simple task. When the when the five senses cannot be trusted, to tell each committed individual what is happening, then the process is not simple or easy in its application. If humanity cannot come up with a group of focused individuals to hold this desire and intention for a new experience in a committed fashion, then the planet itself will begin a cleansing to enable itself to avoid extinction. This process is already beginning, and I know, especially lately here, that that is actually taking place. The degree to which commitment is made and held as the subsequent events unfold will determine greatly to what extent the planet will need to cleanse herself. This commitment involves the shedding of the victim stance and the willingness to claim Earth citizenship, including the responsibilities that this will involve. Therefore, in my view, viewing this as a battle sets up that victim abuser stance that they're speaking on here, which is why that has to be dropped, in my view. And I have already dropped it, right? Now there are those who are getting this energetic, and if that's what it takes to perhaps wake some, great. But I'm hoping that it will immediately move because of the law of attraction, because of thought thinking within itself. Moving past that and into personal sovereignty is where it has to be taking responsibility for self above all, right? There can be no looking back, no blaming for the past and present experience, and decisions will have to be made with regard to repairing the damage to the planet. Greed and abuse patterns must be transcended with the highest and best good for each and all, always, as the controlling factor. Those who cannot accept these guidelines cannot be allowed to influence decision-making situations. Discernment and disclosure of intentions will be hallmark of all discussions. This is one of the reasons why a lot of people don't particularly care for folks like myself and Trump. No airs are being put on. This is the way it is. Transparency, open discussion. We ain't trying to play a popularity contest of who can talk right and all that kind of stuff. Slick politicians. I'm sorry, but boy, that to me, I saw that in a big display up next to. You listen to how Trump speaks and how others speak, and boy, you could tell the difference. So, discernment and disclosure of intentions will be the hallmark of all discussions. If the earth proceeds to cleanse itself, then of what good are these messages and the desire and intention of those who are attracted to this process? Who indeed will survive as a remnant to repopulate the planet? Will it be those who have misused the planet, or those who would heal the inhabitants and the planet with loving intent? Since all that exists as manifested reality is vibrational, those that exist in a vibratory rate that is harmonious with the planet will find themselves in safe places. Those safe places will exist where these individuals are. There are no, quote, safe places as designated on the planet, despite any and all predictions. There will be safe places in the midst of any and all disaster experiences. It is the consciousness of the individuals themselves that will create those places. Those that respond to the call to planetary galactic citizenship and are able to transcend the victim stance and take on the mantle of responsibility to create a new experience will come through the days ahead to guide this planet to a new level of experience. I wonder, in this moment of now I'm being shown, I found out I was a projector in the human design. And I carry a very strong underlying tone of survival, right, in my design, in my human design chart. And I have apparently chosen to surround myself. Most of the people to whom I feel drawn are also projectors. According to the thing on projectors, projectors are meant to guide others. So that's very interesting that this say that too. The law of attraction will bring about its inevitable evening into balance and harmony. Whether any of humanity on this planet presently will come through this experience is entirely up to the choices that each makes. It is the responsibility of the ground crew to offer this choice to as many as possible, as well as to make that choice for themselves and to stick to it as the process continues through completion. I see that as continuing to work on myself, my programming, my whole thing about sovereignty and responsibility for myself, as what I take that to mean. The cycles are coming to their inevitable completions, and the opportunity window is beginning to close. Those beings that have evolved will respond. Those that chose otherwise are to be blessed and allowed to follow their own path. That's the hardest one, especially for those of us who have family members, loved ones, children, grandchildren that may or may not be awakening to the truth of who they are and what's been going on this planet, right? That's what I meant in one of the earlier videos I spoke on about folks panicking, right? This is the most difficult to allow for those connected by family ties and friendship, but there is too much important work to be done to dwell on their chosen future. Seeds planted do grow. Trust the process and keep on keeping on. The future of all depends on the ability to make the difficult decisions of each moment. That's one of the reasons why I always say each moment that presents itself to you. The emotional strength to do what is necessary is available to all who are committed and who hold the highest and best good of all as their guiding principle. Each is asked to do only that which is the best they can do in the moment, and to hold no regrets as to the decisions that are made and the actions that are taken. To learn to trust oneself within each moment-to-moment experience is to mature into responsibility, a necessary process for sharing the birth of a new paradigm. As each moves through the levels of experiencing into wisdom that is chosen, there is never a lack of the need to exercise courage, vigilance, and perseverance. They are the hallmarks of maturity and the signal that completion of a cycle of experience is at hand. Each must decide what point of maturity they have reached and if they are ready to take on a new level of challenge. This is not a project for the faint of heart, the lacking in courage, and those without stick to ability. Do you know where you are in relationship to this opportunity? Well, that's a good question. I would like to think that I am upfront and vigilant about my own healing, my own deprogramming, my own keeping the focus right here and on assuming all of the responsibility for myself. And I also know that that makes that quite available for others. So that's the end of number 28. That's it for me today. I love you guys so much. Thank you for tuning in. I hope with all of me that you will choose in each moment that which brings you the highest joy. There is more than one way to see a thing, and you have the ability to open yourself to all manner of possibility, plausibility. That's something that we can do if we allow ourselves. Till we meet again, my friends, be well.